Welcome, Solara here. Thank you for stopping by my channel. Thank you if you are a returning subscriber. Welcome if it's your first time here. First and foremost, I want to apologize. I haven't been back on since I had that hiccup on Friday where I accidentally reposted the same video from Thursday. So thank you to you guys for your patience. It's very interesting because once upon a time on YouTube, you couldn't even upload the same video, let alone post it. So Friday was just interesting in terms of energies. And I hope you guys have had a pleasant full moon experience. I decided to stay away from too much collective energy outside of some of the stuff I did for Daily Alchemy Members Portal. I decided to stay away from it because these full moon energies started to come in heavy on Friday. I felt a lot of storm energies, and I touched on it in that video, the right video, that was posted on Friday. I touched on it. There was a very strong feeling of a sudden timeline shift that occurred on Friday, and it may have manifested around you in storm-like energy. I've heard many people say that over the weekend there were physical storms in their areas that felt somewhat supernatural, and I can say where I am, there was no physical storm per se, but the energy felt storm-like. And the storm comes in to shift. The storm comes in to clear out. It's kind of like, it's like the tower energy. It's removing people, situations from energetic positions where they can no longer occupy those places. And as such, it's repositioning you energetically where you need to be in order to take up your new occupancy. And indeed, with the full moon in Virgo energy, it's the final full moon of the year. So we are moving into like the last, 2 weeks of the astrological year. The new moon in Aries is on the equinox on the 21st. So yeah, we've got, about 2 weeks until we have the new year. And so as such, we are in this window of time between the full moon in Virgo yesterday and the new moon in Aries in 2 weeks, where it's a time of review. It's a time of integration. It's a time of recalibration. It's a time of rest. And it's a time for preparation. Kind of, if you're new to like aligning your life to the astrological new year, kind of think about the year's end in the regular global Gregorian calendar. What is that energy that most people are in from around like the 26th of December, the day after Christmas, up until New Year's? It's that window of time where time doesn't exist and everything feels like it's being shifted. That's kind of where we are right now. So this energy, this Virgo full moon energy, was very, very tiring. And the reason it was very, very tiring is because on the one hand, there was a lot of death energy being thrown. A lot of death and infirmity energy being thrown. And I spoke about why they love to do that, especially on this Pisces Virgo axis energy when it occurs every month. So you can only imagine how big the spell work and the energies of the spells they threw were on the full moon yesterday, with the sun being in Pisces. But here's the thing: if you've been hanging with me for a while, you know that these attacks, their attacks are your activations. Hence the reason why this heavy, heavy storm energy started to come in on Friday, because that is the intensity of the energies that were thrown your way. But because you're learning with each attack how to alchemize and come out stronger and better, and sometimes these energies don't even bother you anymore, you laugh at them, the more you do that, the more you shake their foundations, because they're trying to shake yours, but ultimately you're going to shake theirs with your response, because ultimately they're trying to get your emotional energy. They're trying to get you contracted emotionally to what they're sending, so that you therefore create that fuckery in your life. But there's no more of that. And even as I said in the reading on Friday, they went all out. They sent entities to people. There was a situation where there was one knocking on the door because it couldn't get back in. But it's almost like these entities are also lackluster. They don't, because they don't want to be here either. It's like these people, energies, factions, corporations, what you need to understand and overstand about them is that they abuse all forms of their power. So it's not like they just abuse divine beings. They abuse lower astral entities too. And I feel like, I really do feel like even some of these lower astral entities are sick of their shit. Yeah, so when you return to sender, especially energy that thick, you might find that it leaves more easily. You might feel that energy of like the attack kind of being less effective is really what it is. So I want to talk about the fatigue that many of you might be experiencing outside of the attacks. That has to do with the energy of the activation. So what my guides were showing me on Friday as that storm energy started to come through was that many of us are getting ready to timeline jump in big ways. And whenever you're getting ready to move into a bigger energy, especially an energy that is substantially bigger than where you've been, or your energy field requires your energy field to grow in order for you to not only receive that energy, but to maintain and sustain it. So as such, many of you are going through this heightened time of expansion within your own energy field to prepare you for the expansion that wants to come forth in the new moon in Aries and beyond. And so that can feel very exhausting. That can feel very energy consuming. So if you find yourself needing to rest a lot more, know that this is partly the reason why. So I don't have that many downloads. I will say that, you know, because a part of me doesn't really want to harp on too much. Like every single moon cycle, there's this thing with the magic. And I'm hoping that with this like full moon in Virgo energy, not that it's going to be over, but the focus on what's happening for us as a collective, when the new moon in Aries comes in, like focus can be taken off of all the fuckery. But in the meantime, it is what it is, and my job here is to not only expose it, but to help you understand and overstand intricacies, strategies, so you know how to navigate it. That's why I'm here, not for entertainment purposes, but to help you to navigate this craziness. So the downloads I have are about this energy. So this energy I felt shifting on Friday, the last time I was here, and what I started to notice was that my guides kept on giving me a lot of downloads around and information around insects. So a lot of spider energy started to show up. And spider energy is kind of it's interesting how it plays out, because on the one hand, spider energy is very much connected to the energy of the Divine Mother. It's that feminine energy of creation that is a spider. It's the energy that allows us to weave our own reality in its beautiful and evolved you know, representation, or how we can utilize it to be better and do better is helping us to take control over our own or take authority. I don't like that word, control. Take authority over our own creative reality. And our creative reality is everything that we choose to create, including, you know, like, not just like, I just want to be clear, it's like every single experience that you choose to create. That's how much power you have and needs to be awoken in you. And this is the power of the spider. Spider spirit can help you become the weaver of your own reality. So it's a very potent energy. But spider energy can also be about how your enemy is trying to weave a web to ensnare you, or is trying to weave illusions in order to get you stuck in a reality where you're not the spider in control of your own web. So as such, I was getting a lot of spider energy, and in the past, like since Sunday, I've been picking up a lot on Black Widow energy. So I went in today to kind of like do some research around Black Widow energy, and you know, Black widows are, I think they're most famous in popular lore because the female spider, who tends to be more poisonous than the male spider and also tends to be more aggressive. The male spiders are very aggressive with one another for the mating opportunity with the female spider, who ultimately, a lot of the time, she kills them off when she's done mating with them. When they've impregnated her, she kills them off and eats them. I think she eats them. I think I heard that she eats them. She definitely kills them though. But when I looked up Black Widow in the Urban Dictionary, it said a woman who feeds off of the mental, physical, and material means of a male and then leaves him for dead. And my guide said also, a woman or a female energy or entity, feminine energy, that emotionally, spiritually, and sexually also feeds off of masculine energy in order to decrease life. So if you take that into more metaphysical idea around feminine and masculine energy, or yin and yang, what this Black Widow energy is, it is the distorted feminine energy that makes a meal off of the divine masculine energies to pull the divine masculine energies into her distortion too, and into her illusion. And in that place, she can weave a reality around this energy that is not truth. So when I say that, I'm also speaking about those energies within. Our distorted feminine energies are what block our masculine energies from thriving and moving forward. So if you're looking at, feminine and masculine purely in energetic form, not gender, the feminine energy is connected more with creation, with intuition. When I say creation, I'm speaking about the ability to grow the creation. The masculine energy plants the creation. The feminine energy grows the creation. The masculine energy takes it out into the world. And that's within us all. So the feminine energy as such is more connected to emotions and intuition. The masculine energy is more connected to material and also taking action and going forward and doing things. And it's what helps us all to be in divine integrity when those energies within us are in balance. And a very important thing to know also is that everyone's balance of masculine and feminine energy is going to be different, because all of us have different purposes on the planet. There are some women who actually are going to need more masculine energy for the divine purpose that is set for them, or at any given point, they need to tune in more to their divine masculine energy for their divine purpose. And likewise with men, there are men who either need to tune deeper into their divine feminine energy for their purpose in general, or there are times where men need to focus more on their divine feminine energy in order to do what it is that they've been appointed to do at that time. So as such, everyone's ratio is going to be different. What puts me in balance with my masculine and feminine energy is not going to be the same as another female. And what puts me in balance with my masculine and feminine energy at this point in my life is different than even a month ago. So as such, we are interdimensional beings. We are multifaceted beings. And as such, as divine beings, we have access all areas, passes, which means we get to move through the energies that best serve our divine purpose for as long as we stay in divine alignment. And divine alignment will never take from another person to put them out of divine alignment. That message for someone, okay? So the Black Widow, I feel like there's something about this full moon in Virgo that put an end to Black Widow curses. So it put an end, and as such, before I go into like what that put an end to, as such, the attacks that you experienced, if they materialized in real time, may have been specifically against the expression of your masculine energy, because I want you also to remember that the full moon in Virgo is the first full moon since the full moon in Leo. And the Leo energy is the energy of the golden child. It's our solar plexus energy. And the Virgo energy is the second feminine role of the Divine Mother in the zodiac. So as my guides have shown me, there are 3 signs that culminate to make the maiden, the mother, and the crone energies of the divine feminine or the Divine Mother aspect. So we have Cancer, which is the obvious one. Even in regular astrology, that is the case. 1144 on my clock as we talk about this 4-4 energy of Cancer. So we have Cancer. Then we have Virgo, which is the Virgin, but also is the mother, because she's very connected to the Virgin Mary energy. And then we have Scorpio, which is connected with our womb energy, man and women, our womb energy, our sacral energy. It's what gives us our womb wisdom as a people, not just as a gender, but as a people. So the Virgo energy as such is a mother energy, but the Virgo energy is all about the guardianship of our energy field, the guardianship of our solar plexus, which is the central sun to our energy system. The Virgo energy comes in to protect that. It's the last energy we face on the zodiac wheel before we move into the collective energies, or energies where we begin to connect with other people on our mission in a more concrete way. Because once we move out of Virgo energy, or the 6th house, we enter Libra, or the 7th house, which begins our journey through the energies of partnerships and groups. So as such, the Virgo energy is that last security point that makes sure our energy field is secure before we step out and begin to share it with other people and the world. So as such, there's a very strong energy of the Virgo coming in to protect the solar plexus. So the way these attacks might have been coming through were direct attacks against inner child wounds. And you may have realized that these were wounds that were connected more so to mother wounds than father wounds at this point. And the reason for that also is because a lot of the root energies have to be dismissed. And also, whenever you're going through an upgrade or an activation, there's always a checkpoint, just like the Virgo energy provides a checkpoint before you move into relationship with others. The checkpoint before you reach a point of expansion and you move into a new energy is you always have a checkpoint with your shadow. Your shadow is going to come up. People are going to trigger you. There are going to be things that cause you to see deeper levels of the wounding in order for you to rise again. That's the purpose of it. It takes you a little bit into the dark to show you how quickly you can recover and how you're ready for the next stage. So this is what a lot of us were going through with these full moon in Virgo energies. It's a checkpoint. Are you really ready to step into this next phase? Because it doesn't matter if the world believes you are. It doesn't matter if your boyfriend, your mama, your husband, your brother, your sister, your father. It doesn't matter if they think you are or you aren't. This was an intimate conversation between you and your maker or your creator or the universe. Are you ready for what it is that we are about to give to you? Are you ready for this next part of your mission that's going to open and begin once these new moon and Aries energies are ready? Because here's the thing, the universe has always had faith in you. God, the creator, divine father, divine mother, always had faith in you. You wouldn't have been here if that level of faith wasn't in you. And you've always had that faith in you. The true divine version of yourself has always had faith in you. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. But you were programmed and conditioned. Well, first of all, you came through the veil of forgetfulness, so you forgot who the fuck you are. And then you had everyone telling you who the fuck you aren't. And so you had to reestablish that true faith in self against the tides of everyone and everything and everybody trying to tell you who you are, who you aren't, who you can be, who you ain't, and all that other shit, as if they're God of your reality. So this energy was coming and asking, are you ready to be God of your own reality? Because by the time the new moon in Aries energy comes ahead, that's the great crowning. Aries energy is the energy of the first house. It's all about your I am identity. That's about who the divine said you are, who you came to remember that you are. It's about you reclaiming Godhead, reclaiming being Godhead over yourself on the earthly planes. So don't get upset, those of you who connect with God, because that doesn't mean that you're taking the place of God. It means you are realizing your place that God has given you as being a sovereign over yourself on the earth plane. Okay, so this is about the recovery of your energy. So now at last you can walk in your divine truth and you can execute that in a way that is in divine alignment. So these energies have come in to ask you, are you ready to be God over self? Are you ready to truly take up the mantle of sovereignty? And if these things come towards you, are you going to fall again and believe the lie? Are you going to be buried under your shadow or under the darkness that wants to come, not to consume you, but to simply test you and ask you, do you know at last who you are? No, do you really, really know who you are? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? That's what these energies wanted to come and ask us this time around. So are you sure? Do you know who you are? Have you remembered? Have you recalled the memories of who you are and started to put them back together and gotten a clearer picture of who you actually are and what you came here to do? Because if you have, congratulations, that new moon in Aries is coming to crown you. Okay? And so all of this in the aftermath of the Virgo full moon is all about getting ready for that. And of course, the energies, I'm going to get into this a little bit, the energies that came to attack were also that ability to believe in your power to lead yourself. So I just wrote on the community board, I did a post on Sunday, and since then I've heard other people talk about it, I think in readings, I've heard other people bring it up. I've heard it a few times since Sunday, which is enough to let me know that this energy is one of the ways that people have been under attack in the fullness of these full moon and Virgo energies. And that is, there's a lot of energies, entities, especially religious ones, operating through people that want to come right now and question whether you have the ability to lead yourself into your own divine truth. There are energies that want to come and tell you you don't know what you're doing it wrong, yada, yada, yada. All of that is a distraction to keep you doubting yourself. So be aware of that. And a lot of them are coming after. That is your masculine energy. Your ability to lead yourself back into truth is an action-oriented energy that is rooted in your divine masculine truth. Because your divine feminine energy is magnetic, it comes towards, and the divine masculine energy is electric, it goes out. Okay? So, with this Black Widow, back to this Black Widow energy and its downloads, it feels like a Black Widow curse was broken. But it's very interesting how this occurred, because for those of you who have been conditioned by these energies, and we all have, because the Black Widow energies are the distorted feminine energies of the Matrix that actually gave birth to many of the distorted masculine energies of the Matrix. They worked one and the same. No energy is better than the other, or it has less responsibility than the other. In order for the toxic masculine energy to exist and to be sustained, the toxic feminine energy had to be there too. And the toxic feminine energy is part of this Black Widow curse. And this is the energy of women misusing their power, or men misusing their feminine energy. And feminine energy is very rooted in intuition, divination, manifestation. It's very much to do with the law of attraction is really what it is, because, well, both energies have to do with the law of attraction, but the feminine energy in terms of pulling things towards you, feminine energy is magnetic. So it's very much to do with attracting things towards you. And a lot of the attraction work that these people were doing was based upon taking the energy from divine beings and using your divine feminine energy, your magnetic quality, to attract towards you everything it is that you need for your journey that is part of your divine birthright. Because a lot of these other people, factions, corporations had sacrificed any divine power they may have had, and some of them had none. They had to find a way to divinely draw things towards them, and so they utilized, this is what a lot of the energy harvesting was about. So it happened on it happened on a grand scale, and that drawing towards attraction, manifesting, is very much rooted in feminine energy, hence the reason why it's connected oftentimes to the moon. Because, and I'm going to go into this very quickly because some people have asked me about this and I never got back to you guys, and I'm sorry about this. Somebody asked me weeks ago, and I keep on forgetting to address this. They said to me in the comments, isn't the moon like a false satellite that's been placed here in order to mess with us? And yes and no. And this is purely my opinion based upon what my guides have shown me. So you don't have to agree with me. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. It's cool. But I was shown this like about a year ago too, this whole idea that the moon is this energy harvesting vehicle, and that's pretty much all it is. It's not real. It's a satellite and all that other stuff. And when I first began to hear that, it didn't sit right with my soul. And when something doesn't sit right with my soul, I put it on the shelf and I say, okay, well, some of this stuff makes a lot of sense. I get where it's coming from, but it's still not feeling right in my soul. So I'm going to wait for divine guidance to help me make sense of it so it feels right again in my soul. And so sure enough, my guides began to unravel some of this stuff to me, I want to say like last summer. And what they showed to me, and this indeed is to do with, you know, a lot of the planets, is that this matrix system was able to be held in place through the manipulation of energy. But especially in this particular instance, since we're dealing with the moon, the manipulation of feminine energy. So as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I've been shown, the moon is a sentient being, but her energy was hijacked and used against her and against us. Does that sound familiar? So what is actually happening right now, and has been happening since around last summer, is just like we have contracts, the planets also have contracts. We're all in this together. We're all ascending differently, right? But we're all in this together. So a lot of the moon's contracts ended around the same time ours did, the contracts of the old age. And so as such, the moon started to release a lot of this energy out that had been captivating us. It's why so much information around all of this stuff started to come out rapidly. And we were able to tune into it more. So from my understanding, the moon, much like us, much like Gaia, was used, her own power was used against her to keep this matrix system going. Okay? I know there's more to that needs to be like unfurled in order for me to get a full, like a full spectrum view. But so far, when my guides started to show me that, that's what began to make more sense to me. Okay, so that's not to say anything about the other, the other stories about, the Anunnaki and all that other stuff. I'm not saying anything is wrong. And at any given moment, something new comes along to adjust our vision so we see more clearly. And right now, how I'm seeing the moon, as I've been shown, is that. So I say all of that because a lot of the karmic feminine energy control of the matrix was linked to what they were doing with the moon. So what's really interesting is that because the contracts with the moon are done, like they cannot, I want to be very careful here. It's not that they cannot use the moon and her magic against us anymore. It's more like they can't do it and have a not a positive. They can't do it and have the effect that they want, because it's very much like when I said that Gaia was ascending and their magic can no longer be rooted in her energies because she is in a higher dimension that no longer supports that kind of fuckery. It's kind of the same with the moon. So it's like a lot of the stuff is it's almost like it's bouncing off. Like part of the return to sender, part of the reason why these energies are not staying with us as long, part of the reason why they're deflecting so quickly, they're being revealed instantly. It's all to do with the planetary interplay. It's why we also like look at astrology and our astrological charts to figure things out, or the 000 on my clock, or the astrological phases that we're going through on any given day in order to figure out what we're going through collectively, because these planetary energies they're sentient, they're alive, and their interactions and their interplay and what's happening to them, it has a direct effect on us, and we have a direct effect on them too. Okay? I know sometimes that seems like such a huge thing for us to get, that our emotions have an effect on the moon, on Venus, on Neptune, but they do. We are truly in a relationship with all of these planets and energies, and it's beautiful. And this is the thing also, they didn't want us waking up to that, because for as long as we weren't awake to that, they could manipulate and have access to these planetary energies to do what it is they wanted to do, because the planets, just like us, have shadow energies and they have evolved energies, and a lot of the stuff that they used to bind us were the exploitation of the shadow aspects of a planet. And whenever you exploit any being's shadow, anytime you exploit anything, that means to use something out of balance. And we live in a universe, we live in, a world where in order to thrive, we must be in balance. So when you look at the old world and how it interacted with every single planet and celestial body, everything was kind of out of whack. And this ascension is helping to bring everything back into balance. And it's like all of the planets are on board and helping us, because this time, it is written time. All of this that's passing, it's destiny. So this Black Widow energy, it also had a lot to do with the death energy that was oftentimes cast on new moon and full moon cycles. So remember I said that a lot of this is connected to the law of attraction. If you are casting death energy towards someone, if you are trying to fill their energy fields with the energy of death and destruction, what you are doing is manipulating their energy to begin to magnetize that energy towards them. So all of this spell work is about reprogramming people's energy fields to attract towards them what it is that the spellcaster wanted to be part of their reality. And whatever you attract towards you ultimately, your energy field will also repel that which doesn't support it, if that makes sense. So for example, if death energy is being cast towards you to manipulate your energy field, to attract towards you death and destruction, what is being pushed away from you are things and opportunities that bring you life and love. So there's a dual effect. They don't have to block life and love, although a lot of them do that too, but they don't have to, because the energetic effect of filling a person's energy with too much death energy, because we need the death energy to put to an end the things that we don't need, like right now these karmic cycles need the energy of death to come to a close. But again, when you are exploiting an energy, it's putting someone out of balance, and they're therefore not. When you put someone out of balance or something out of balance, you're moving them out of divine alignment. Okay, so too much death energy is going to attract a lot of death and destruction, and automatically push away those things that bring life, right? All things must be in balance, including our shadow aspects. We can't make it disappear, but we must bring it under submission to our power and our light and our truth in such a way that we can utilize it in a way that brings glory to what it is that we're here to do, or glory to God, because everything that is a part of us is a part of us. We weren't just given a shadow through our bad experiences. We were born out of darkness, which tells us the importance of utilizing the power of darkness in order to keep balance. But this Black Widow energy loved to keep us out of balance, loved to keep distortions going, loved to keep the masses attracting towards them the death and destruction that was necessary to rattle their energy fields, to keep them in states of fear so they could then be controlled. So this Black Widow energy, it feels like it came towards us this time around, because like I said, this Virgo energy, what they were saying to me, like this Virgo full moon energy, it's all about facing the final frontier before being born again. New moon in Aries, the spring equinox, that's balance, that's rebirth, that's new cycles, new beginnings. So this energy with the Black Widow and the attacks, it's all about facing a final frontier. We must get over the shadows that have been cast by illusions and just partial illumination in order to reach the fullness of power and truth and full illumination. And the only way to do that is to get through that shadow energy that wants to make you abdicate your throne almost. It's like this energy that makes you want to, remember I said this is here to ask you, do you know who you are now? Have you remembered? Well, the final frontier shadow is that it's like one last checkpoint. One last checkpoint before you get crowned. Are you sure you're king? Are you sure you're queen? Are you sure you're Godhead over self? Okay, so that's what all of this is about. Okay, it's a test. So what my guides had me write, I may have already said this, but they said that this Black Widow energy was the distorted feminine or yin energies that seek to repress our masculine energies or our yang energies to keep us out of the fullness of our power and the full authority over self and our paths. Okay? This is interesting because what it means is that those of you who've done the work, you're about to be freed of this energy, but the way that energy works is it never really disappears. It gets transformed. It can be like, to some extent, it can be it can be transmuted. That's the word I'm looking for. It can be transmuted, but it never just disappears. And so all of this karmic feminine energy that's been such a big part of your reality until you cleared it out of yourself, and so you cleared it out of your what it is that you attract towards you, all of that must go back now to sender, right? So this is very similar to the return of spell work, and a lot of this karmic feminine energy was the underpinning energy responsible for all of this spell work, even in the men that were doing it. So all of that now is returning to those who haven't healed. So there are many people who were too chicken, too cowardly to stand up to these energies in their lives, and it's taking them under. And the way that's going to be manifesting, especially in relationships with people who stayed around these karmic feminine energies, is now, it's like, for some of them, they're going to literally watch everything they've built be destroyed. So when I think about this Black Widow energy, I think about a very famous family who I'm sure you can, I don't have to give you the name, but this family of women, they destroy their men. They spiritually destroy their men, and in fact, they've been called Black Widows. That is showing you, by way of gender and physically, what this energy does in order for the distorted feminine energy to control and to manipulate and to weave a web of deception where she can be the central energy, and everyone else kind of takes their place in accordance with what she deems is right for her. A very controlling, manipulative energy. So that's what I have. I didn't have that many downloads, but so much stuff was coming through as I was saying it. So my apologies. I'm going to begin in the Moonology Oracle and see what messages are going to come out. See what messages are coming out. So this week there may have been so far a lot of resistance. You may have been feeling a lot of resistance, and you may have been feeling it very emotionally. There may not have been physical blocks on your path, but you may, and there may have been, but you may have been feeling it a lot more in your emotional fields. And that's because it's here to test you and ask you once again, do you know who you are? Do you know that when this enters your field, it's not real? Do you know when this enters your field, what its true purpose is for? Do you know that when this is entering your fields, it's here to show you something deeper? Are you picking up on the lesson? Are you ready to graduate now? It's time for, excuse me, it's time for something new. It's time for something new. So, be bold and make the first move is the first energy coming out, and what do you need to release is at the bottom. So be bold and make the first move is cardinal moon energy. Of course, we are moving up to the new moon in Aries, which is cardinal moon energy. The cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. They are the energies at the beginning of every cycle. So they are the energies that fall on the equinoxes and the solstices to begin the energy of a new season. So they're all attached to their own element. So Aries is a cardinal fire sign of the zodiac. Aries gets shit moving. Yes? Yeah. Nothing will come of this situation. This again is this energy that I was speaking about. This like having to face the shadow again in order to gain access to the next layer of expansion. This is one of the final frontier energies. And with the be bold and make the first move, and nothing will come of this situation. This is interesting because this is kind of like the duality that we find ourselves in as a collective. And if you've done the work, all the universe is asking for you to do is to be bold and to make the first move. And the first move is actually to believe in yourself. And this other energy is for those who haven't done the work. and indeed nothing will come of what it is that they've been trying to plant if they haven't acquired the ability to move in these new energies and the ability to move forward in these new energies and to reap the benefits. It required healing. So those are the messages coming through, but also this is you have to push past this this void energy that is wanting to make you believe that because you're dealing with a little bit of darkness that may have been cast by someone else, but it's still coming up from your shadow. This is trying to tell you that you need to get past that dark illusion, because it is the frontier that is, it's the gate that is one of the last boundaries to your next level of expansion. So it's getting past this energy of believing that you're back in the void, or you're back in the dark, or that you're back at the beginning, or that something good cannot last for you. It's kind of getting over that and having faith and remembering who you are, because there's a lot of stuff coming through right now. As much darkness is coming through, because this is the way that energy works, it will always mirror itself in terms of like if there's extreme darkness, then there often tends to be extreme light, because that's where we can find the balance. So I say that because I lost the message. Hopefully it will come back. But I will say that part of what was coming through, there was an important thing that was coming through that I just lost, but hopefully it will come back. Part of the being able to enter the higher levels of light is being able to engage with the depths of darkness. So without letting it consume you. So don't believe for any moment that any energies that make you feel like you're back in a void, or you're being pulled back into a void. You're not being pulled back into a void. This is a checkpoint. It's not a being pulled back into obscurity like the energies of old. It's a checkpoint. Okay, let's just make sure you're fully ready for what's ahead. Okay, yeah, full moon, we have surrender to the divine. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. Thank you, Spirit. A lot of what is coming through right now, as much as we are intuiting the darker aspects of what's happening, what is also being made available to many of us is the truth of who we are, is our the innate power and the gifts and the talents that we came here onto this earth plane to share. And this information might be coming through a lot clearer to you right about now. And that is for you to also really grab a hold of remembering who you are and having faith in what it is that you are receiving. Because at the bottom of the deck, we do have surrender to the divine. So if you're being shown, and then we have you and your loved ones are safe. If you're being shown things about what you're able to do, or who you have been, or what it is you've come to give the world at this time, it's being shown to you to help you acquire more knowledge of self. And it's also there to help you, to help bolster you higher into your power. But here's the thing, you have to accept the invitation. So part of the moving into the expansion energies, the higher expansion energies, is accepting truths about yourself that the matrix programmed, conditioned version of you is a lie, because you were programmed to think certain things about yourself. And when these energies or these ideas or downloads come into your reality, a lot of the temptation will be to push them out, because you don't believe, what, little old me, I have this, I came for this, yada, yada, yada. Like, even though there's a part of you that might resonate. Well, there's not a part of you. The whole of you is going to resonate with it on some level. You still have to get past the darkness that's been cast upon you to make you believe, for one thing, that that's not possible. And it's not even to do with you. It's just not possible because, you know, things like that don't happen in life because that's what they wanted you to believe. But here's the thing. Anything that you believe can happen because you're a multidimensional, multifaceted being who has the ability to create your own realities based upon what you think and feel. So this is this is the calibration time we find ourselves in. Do you believe in the quote-unquote impossible? Do you believe that you are who God says you are? Do you believe that you are the I am that I am of self? Okay. I'm going to try to stop saying I hope I'm making sense, because a lot of you guys have gone back to me and you're just like, stop questioning yourself. So I'm going to try to get out of the habit of saying that. It might take me a minute, but I'll try. I'll try. And thank you guys for your beautiful words and your encouragement, because when you're channeling, like watching myself back, yes, I can say I'm quite clear most of the time, but when you're actually giving the message and recording, it can really feel like it can feel a little bit like you're going off on tangents, or like you're not, like everything's not coming together. And I know that it is, and it does, but sometimes from my vantage point, until I watch myself back, I don't know that. But I thank you guys. Okay. So we have your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn, and don't let pride get in your way, full moon in Leo. Okay, so this is all about inner child wounds, because that Leo energy, pride, whatever you want to call it, it's about the inner child wounds and the seeking validation outside of self when you need to find it from within, or succumbing to those wounds that have arisen within you because the validation you needed in order to have a healthy, balanced solar plexus was not provided to you. So that is like, don't let that wounding, those belief systems that made you feel like you're a natural being, a finite being, instead of a supernatural and infinite being. Don't let that stuff cast a shadow so large over you right now that you fall into faithlessness, because this next part of the journey, it requires, in order to get past that last frontier, it requires faith in self. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini. So for me, Gemini energy is like, it's the mercurial energy of connecting with spirit. So communication is key. Yeah, communication is key in terms of like, because this energy is also here to promote hermit mode. It's Virgo energy, right? We're here to be in hermit mode until we're ready to be delivered with the new moon in Aries. So when I say that the main communication, the only real communication that should be speaking into your life right now in such a way that you actualize what is being said, is the voice of the divine. The only conversation that really matters right now, up until the new moon in Aries, and really matters for all of life, but the emphasis right now, what does God say about you? What does the divine say about you? Your I am identity is based upon who the divine says you are and what you divinely were sent here to do and to be. So are you, 0022 on my clock, are you in alignment right now with that conversation? Or do you have interference? And is the interference with this Gemini energy, that third house energy of third parties, neighbors, siblings, family dynamics, voices you hear as you travel through your day? Or are you so anchored and rooted in your divine power and truth, and in your golden alchemy and your solar energies and your own central sun and how that's there to light up your truth? Are you really connected to self? Are you connected to the divine, and are you connected to yourself? Work through your fears, new moon in Scorpio. And this is, again, this is all about the shadow work that's coming up right now for all of us in different ways, right? You're going nowhere. I saw that happen. I hope that it didn't fuck up with my tracking, but if it did, I apologize, you guys. But I'm about to wrap this up anyway. That shadow that wants to tell you the same thing is happening again. You're not going anywhere. This is all not real. Yada yada yada. You know what your shadow tells you until you tell your shadow, actually, you're speaking from a place of woundedness. Let's talk about this so we can come back into balance with what you're actually here to do, because somewhere along the line you were exploited to become smaller than you should be or bigger than you should be. You know, like, take it as it resonates, how you want to view that. But either way, it's out of balance. So this is all about, I'm hearing that John Legend song, Conversations in the Dark. It's time for us to have some conversations this week with our shadow, and to really and have true conversations with the divine, so we know what is real and what isn't. And I can tell you that what is more real right now is what you have been programmed and conditioned to believe is impossible. But on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you guys so much for being here. I want to thank you for all the ways you support me. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your shares, your subscribes. Thank you to those of you who put services with me. It's been so lovely meeting some of you guys. Thank you to those of you who donate to the channel and donate to my mission, and those of you who have also donated decks. I appreciate all of your love. It just paused again at 55:55, so we'll see. If you would like to connect with me, to work with me, my information is in the description box below. Please check out my services and then email me about what you're interested in. I have no checkout function because I want to know who's coming to me. If you would like to donate or donate a debt to me in the channel, then you can do that by checking out my information below too. And I think that's it. Yes, I'm going to love you and leave you guys. I wish you a very great rest of your evening, your afternoon, your morning, whatever time you're watching this. Oh, and I do have a full moon in Virgo report that I did for my Daily Alchemy members portal. If you're members, rather, Daily Alchemy members in the portal, if you're interested in that, I don't think I'm going to really release it this time around, but if you really are interested, then you can email me and we'll come to a suggested donation. It will be pretty low this time. Well, it's always pretty low, but it will be even lower than usual because I don't think I'm really going to release this one. But if you're interested, it looks at how these full moon in Virgo energies are affecting the house that Virgo rules in your chart. So those are the channeled messages that came through. That's how my guides wanted me to take a look at it. But I might change my mind. I might decide to release it, but for now I'm just kind of like, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you. I wish you guys the best, every beautiful thing under the sun. Until next time, be well.